Hello, ladies and germs, and welcome back to my tutorial world. Today, we are currently in the 1.12 version of Minecraft Bedrock Edition. So, as you can already guess, that we are doing a cactus farm. And there is going to be a timestamp in the top, one of the top corners, so that you guys can jump straight into the tutorial. But for those that want to know about the science behind this and how it works, stay tuned. Okay, so I am currently in a test world just to show you something that I was actually really surprised to see. So I have two cactus farms. They both have a 3x3, basically 9 pieces of cactus, all ready to be farmed. Ooh, lovely. And these have been running for about an hour. Now, this only has a block gap between each piece of cactus, and it gave us 6 pieces of cactus. And what I was noticing is that sometimes when the cactus pops off, it is actually popping off and hitting the adjacent cactus. So I thought, well, let's put an extra block between them, so now it's 2 blocks between each one. And what I actually found is that it does give you a little bit extra cactus, not by much, but 3 extra cactus over an hour is a lot. Now imagine if you had a 20 floors of this, like that's a huge difference. And then I thought, while watching this, I was noticing that sometimes the cactus, instead of getting a vertical trajectory, instead of getting a horizontal trajectory, it's getting a vertical, and it's getting more of a vertical than a horizontal. And what happens is it pops up and falls back down just inside the hitbox of the cactus it popped off on, and of course anything that hits the side of a cactus gets destroyed. For some strange reason, when it does it on top, it doesn't get destroyed. Mojang, fix your game. No, don't do it, because actually now, thanks to you, I figured this out. So I was like, okay, so what happens if I put water above? And I will now jump over back to the tutorial world and show you the farm we are working on. Okay, so here we are. This is made so it will actually fit in a chunk. So the corner of the chunk starts just here. Well, it doesn't actually, but in your world it will. And then the other end of the chunk is 2 blocks out from here. So what I discovered here, by instead of using trapdoors and by using fence gates which are open, it allows the cactus to pass through them rather than bounce on them, which then gives them that extra bit of upward motion. And of course, this second lot of water streams here is actually to catch that cactus. There's a lot of C's in this tutorial, and I get very tongue-tied, and bring it to the middle, as you can see. Now sometimes I have noticed that they do like jump off, and have sometimes a tendency to hit the opposite cactus, but it doesn't seem to affect the efficiency of the farm, because so if we counted our 9 here, we'd have 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so if we come down here, we've got 9 in this chest and 11 in this chest. So if we take, so that's 20, so that's 13. That's still 4 more than what we had originally, and that's if we remove at least 1 cactus from each one of these sides. So that's still doing a better job. That must have despawned on there. And I will be building this in the Bedrock server once I clear out underneath the witch farm, because that desperately needs doing. Now, unfortunately, there is no other way of doing the water streams with a farm this size, because and the only reason I discovered this type of thing is because I want to start playing Island in the Sky. So let me know in the comments what you think about me playing that, because I'm going to be building efficient farms like this all the way through. But I do believe I've talked your ears off quite enough now, so I do believe it is time to start this tutorial. Okay, so to start off this tutorial, you are going to need a 14 by 15 area. And for this tutorial, the materials you're going to need are probably 2 stacks of blocks of your choice. I'm going to use different types of concrete, so it makes it easier for you guys, and you can also see where you need to put all your blocks. I'm going to use blue stained glass on the outside to show you where your water source needs to go. And clear glass on the outside. Again, those are your choices. You will need, let's say, an easy block that you can destroy if you're doing it in survival, because you put a temporary layer in. You will need 18 hoppers. You will need 2 stacks of dark oak fence gates, or any fence gate for that matter. You will also need 16 stone slabs, 4 chests, 16 sand, and 16 glass panes. I would definitely have a different coloured one, and that will be very apparent later on. And don't forget water buckets. And as far as the redstone goes, I'm going to be using yellow concrete, so whatever you want to use, you're going to need a stack of redstone and then an extra 3 dust, 16 sticky pistons, 12 redstone repeaters, 6 redstone comparators, 6 redstone torches, and 4 hoppers. You will also need 2 levers and 2 stacks and 3/4 of a stack of junk items, or 48 items, and that is for your timer, which I am actually going to do right now because it's one of the easier ones to do. So to start the timer, come to the very back block of your 15 by 14 area, come back 4 blocks and place it on the 4th one, and then you just want to make a 2 by 2 like so. Then so you leave a 2 by 2 gap behind here, and you want to place another 2 by 2 with your blocks of choice, and just continue that on for the other 2 sides, so you have your 2 by 2 area just here. Place down a block so you can place one there. Then grab your hoppers, and you want them to be placed so that they are going in a circle on themselves. That one, and remove that. Up there. Right. So now I've got to try and remember. You want where you've got on any of these sides a hopper going into a hopper, and you can actually see the thing on this side and can't see it this side. That's the hopper that needs the comparator. To do that for all 4 sides, because they are going to be exactly the same. Then turn around, and the block space you have going into a hopper, place down a repeater. This will lock the system. You then want to place a block in front of each of your comparators and put a piece of redstone next to that block, and that, I am not kidding, is basically the timing system done. We are going to do a little bit extra now. So there's the back of the design, here's the front of the design. Off this line of redstone here, place a block with a repeater on it. You then want to bring it forward 3 blocks, place a piece of redstone in front of that repeater, a comparator set to subtract mode, and then the side of this comparator, place a block there and there, and just bring that out 2, coming off the side of this redstone dust here. Place a comparator with a block on its face. Redstone dust, turn around and make sure that you have a repeater set to 3 ticks going into this comparator here. Place a block in front of the comparator and then just bring this all the way over to the end and 1 block up. You can then go ahead and place in the 3 bits of redstone there. So that is the timing circuit done. I will put the junk items in a little later in the video because this needs a little bit of explaining. I want to say a massive thank you to Seth Bling though, because he actually created it for Java Edition, and I discovered it works. He said he could get 7.5 minutes out of it. I found 8 on Bedrock, but that's because our tick speed is just a little bit lower. Right. Next bit. Now, this is the difficult bit, so bear with me. I may make 1 or 2 mistakes. So, you want to come to your front left corner and go up 3 blocks. On the 4th block is where you start building. And you just want to drag that all the way along till you get to the end, so 14 blocks, and then 14 blocks this way. For me it's easy because I've left 1 block gap here, and just make your 14 by 14 square. And now you want to go around the, is it the outside? Okay, so you want to do a ring of blocks on the outside. I'm going to use the blue just because this is going to show you where the water needs to go, and the green is going to show you where your cactus needs to go. Not on the outside though, obviously. Okay, and then go into each of the corners and just place a green block. This is so that later on it indicates where your cactus actually needs to go, and then wherever you have a green block, place 2 different blocks. Place down another green block, 2 blocks, place down a green block, 2 blocks. So you should have 4 green blocks with a 2 space between each of those, but only 1 to the outside line, because this green section here is going to be our walls and glass. So again, then it is just make a line of 2 blocks, and then just make sure that you place all your green blocks in line with the other 2. I do apologize if you can hear any cars in the background. Unfortunately, I now live in flats. And once again, don't worry too much about creating your opening just yet. And once you're done, you should have something that looks like this. So I'll leave that on the screen for a couple of seconds for you guys to copy, and we're done. Right, so now you want to build up your outside wall here. And then if you're using glass, or you want to use solid blocks to encase this in, carry on. But I'm going to place these here because your water source is going where this blue concrete is, just there. I do that for all 4 corners. And then also placing a block there. You do actually need this block in the corners, guys, because the water is going to sit on top of it and flow out like so. So now I'm just going to complete bringing this up. And I think I need to come up with 2 more. We'll just quickly put those in. Okay, so to make sure that you've got this at the right height, come and get your sand and your uh, glass panes, because what we're going to do now is every green block, place down a glass pane and place a second one down, remove the bottom one, and then place your sand on top. Lovely, which means we are actually at the right height. So just do that for all of them, and this may take a while, so I'm going to cut very quickly and I will be back with you once I have finished those. Do you know what, you guys that are playing on a mobile device, I really do feel for you, because that on a mobile would have been painful. It was painful on a controller, and it would have been more painful on a thing. Anyway, with those all in place, now you need to go and place in some temporary blocks all the way across here. Now, don't worry, I am going to explain why this needs to be done, because unfortunately, and I'm still not 100% sure why this is still a thing, but you still need a block underneath a fence gate to place it, but then you can remove the block and the fence gate will just float there. Like, it's a really annoying feature. Anyway, so now bring your walls to, or is it two? Four. Okay, that's four, and then five. Yeah, four, then five. So you want to bring this up so that you have four pieces of glass above where the water source is going to be, or if you're just doing it my way, then if you're doing it any other way, basically you just need two more layers on top. So altogether you have 5 layers of glass. So your fence gates will be going here, and half slabs here, and you want your pistons here. So I would go ahead and find where you need your pistons and place your pistons in now, because it gets difficult to try and place them in a bit later, because you've got to fight with water streams and everything. What I've found that is easier to do is just run temporary blocks across the top like so, and then place them in. And then of course you can just remove your temporary blocks, because they do need to be facing down. Right, where are my pistons? Lovely. So we need one for each of the sand blocks that we have. Whoops, that's a mistake. Okay, now go ahead and just remove those temporary blocks that you've used. Remember that you still need to keep that other layer in. And the next little bit that needs doing is you do now need to place in your half slabs. So what I tend to do again is use a temporary block and place in my half slab there, so that there is a half block gap between the piston head and the actual stone block. Don't worry, it will still function. And I'll just go ahead and do that for all of these. And then don't forget to remove your temporary block afterwards, otherwise things are going to get very difficult. In fact, let me just do it like this. Yeah, that's easier. Okay, so with all of that placed in, we can now finally do the hard bit. And I do say the hard bit. Well, I say hard bit, it's more of an annoying bit. Grab your 2 stacks of fence gates and make sure that you're placing all of these the same direction. So you just want to place them and open them, place and open, place and open, place and open, place and open. Yeah, this is going to get really repetitive. I will see you guys very shortly. Okay, so with all of those now placed in, you can come into each of these corners and place in a block above the fence gate there and 3 blocks in the corner, just so that when you put in this water stream it doesn't flow all over the place. You can then, if you wanted to, completely enclose this to say if you're making a huge farm. And once you've given this a test, I would then suggest that you put your water streams in. You remove those your temporary blocks. So I'm just going to make sure that I got every single one of them. Yep. And yep. Oh, see, look, I missed one just there, and I would not have noticed that unless I put until after I put the water streams in. So this is why I do it now. And one last one. Lovely. So now you want to come underneath and remove all those temporary blocks that you placed in. I will see you very shortly once I've gone ahead and done all of this. Okay, so we are almost at the end. You can now go ahead, come inside and place in your water streams for the bottom level, like so. And this actually then gives you your dropping area. So go ahead and remove all blocks in the middle here that does not have any water on them. And let me just put 1 or 2 things away, because I don't think I need any of those. I do need the hoppers. I do need chests. So you do need to decide where you want your middle set of chests to be. I tend to do 2 chests like so, and that is only so that if the system does get clogged, there is a second chest to unclog them. So crouch place until you are dead level with the water, and same again here, and then just make all the hoppers go into that central line. So you'll have something that looks a bit like that. So we are almost done. We literally do have the last bits to put in now, which is the rest of the redstone. So you will need the torches, you will need your repeaters, you will need your blocks of choice, and of course your redstone. So come to where you left that block up, and you want to place a torch, then a block, then a torch, then a block, then a torch, block, torch, block, torch, and block. Let me just, is that right? Yeah, because then this needs to come, yeah. So you want the very top torch to be turned off, and then just bring your blocks out so that you come level with the 2 end pistons, and then just bring all of that to the end piston like so. And the only reason that these blocks have to be above the pistons rather than next to the pistons is due down to this water source. If you block this water source in any way in any of the four corners, it all just gets messy, and that's not fun. So grab your repeaters and oh, actually no, sorry, remove that line and move it back one block, because you need repeaters on there. So you want it above the glass, one block above the glass, and of course then just bring that in, and you want repeaters there like so. Bring your redstone over, and then of course you literally just need to repeat the redstone to the end so that all the yellow is covered in lovely redstone. Right, so with all of that now done, it is time to put in the items for the timer. Now this is why I have, where are they, these levers. One, so I can lock this hopper so that when I put the items in, I haven't got to worry about the items going anywhere. So it is 2 stacks and then a stack of 48 in, and that gives you about 4 minutes and 50 seconds. So once it's fired, any blocks that is sat on top of the cactus don't get a chance to despawn. Now if you want to go ahead and make like some facade like I did over there to just put the redstone behind, carry on. All you need to do is just put the redstone going into here to lock this hopper if you want it turned off, and if you want it so that you can manually make the pistons extend. And the reason I actually have this in the system is so that I can turn it off. So imagine like this has been on for absolutely ages and you've got stacks upon stacks upon stacks, more than you ever need. You do that, you put the pistons down and the system actually turns off, so you don't have to worry about a load of junk items clogging up your item filters. And that's just a simple block and repeater into this torch here with a lever connected to it. So if I now then turn this off, the system is now running, and we should very shortly we should see it very shortly fire. Oh yeah, because that hopper's locked. Yeah, and it does actually help, right, if you actually have some cactus to put in it. Wow, all this time and I forgot to put the cactus in. At least it's easy to get into, and of course you just need 1 cactus for every piece of sand, which of course is then 16. So just place those in. And that's it, you are all done. So if you just leave this running, then it's all good. You'll have plenty of cactus. Thank you for showing the pistons working. The only thing that like you do lose with this design is space height wise, but once you've got a few layers in, and depending on how you set your base and everything up, and say the colors for this, you should be alright, to be honest. And of course you don't need to do the redstone for this again, because you can just carry it on a torch tower, which again does make it a lot simpler to build. But anyway, ladies and germs, I do believe that's all I have for today. I do hope you've enjoyed this. Oh, hang on, before I forget, one final thing, because this needs to be said. Any of you that are interested in joining an SMP server. Now, I mean a server, not a Realms. This is not a Realms. So if Realms goes down, we can still play on this. This is a dedicated server by TorchNode. I will put details and link into my description box right at the top so you guys can see it. If you're interested in joining us Bedrock Broke Rockers, then please go onto our Discord link. It's also in the description below. And the way that you become a Broke Rock member is you need to get your Discord level to 10. Once you get it to 10, you can then apply to become a member. Now, all the members do need to vote, so it is first come first serve type of thing, so get on it quick, because if the spaces get filled, I'm sorry, there's not a lot we can do about it. But again, all the details for the group that run the server is in the description below. And now that's all I have the time for today. So I do hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you have, hit that like button. If you've really enjoyed it, then don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you know whenever I am uploading a video. But that's all I have for today. I've been Joker, and I'll see you in a mini money mo. Ta-ta for now.